Chances are, if you're watching this video, you're looking for a solution to help you with your weight loss, and you're wondering if you should be having artificial sweeteners. Some people argue that they help with weight loss. Others argue that they don't help with weight loss. Exactly what should you do with artificial sweeteners if you're looking to lose weight? I'm a weight loss trainer. My name is Coach Patrick. Make sure to give us a like, hit that subscribe button, turn on your notifications, because this channel is dedicated to helping you with building the right fitness and nutrition habits so that you can lose that excess weight, have more confidence, and impact more lives. To understand if artificial sweeteners contribute to weight gain, we first have to understand how it works. Artificial sweeteners, they're synthetic, they're man-made to replace sugar, because we know that sugar causes insulin resistance, diabetes, weight gain, and obesity. Since sugar is unhealthy, various artificial sweeteners have been invented to replace the sweet taste of sugar. Yet, despite increased consumption of these sweeteners, diet foods in general, the obesity epidemic has gotten worse. I always like to say, when you're eating things, eat in moderation, but unfortunately, it's hard to have sugar in moderation. So, what do? We create a sugar substitute that gives us the sweetness of sugar without the calories. Well, it gives us the sweetness of sugar, but not just 2 times the sweetness of sugar, not 3 times the sweetness of sugar, not 10 times, but 100 to 1,000 times the sweetness of sugar. For example, aspartame is 180 times sweeter than sugar. Alcysulfame is 200 times sweeter than sugar. Saccharin is 300 times the sweetness of sugar, and sucralose, aka Splenda, is 600 times the sweetness of sugar. Neotame is even worse, at 7,000 times the sweetness of sugar. And so actions have consequences, and we consume things that are 1,000 times sweeter than it actually is. We can actually overdose on sweetness. The part of the brain that's receptive to drug addiction is activated here. Because these artificial sweeteners are 100 times, 1,000 times sweeter than sugar, we become sugar dependent. The level of sweetness that used to satisfy us doesn't satisfy us anymore, and we crave things that are sweeter and sweeter. This is exactly like an addiction. Just like smoking, in the beginning, maybe you have 1 cigarette, right? Satisfies that craving until it doesn't anymore. And guess what? You have 2 cigarettes, and then you have 3 cigarettes, and then you're smoking a pack a day, and it's impossible to quit. Sugar and the brain response is very similar. After having artificial sweeteners, we become desensitized to that level of sweetness, and we crave things that are sweeter and sweeter. Let me explain how this works in the brain. We know from functional MRIs that there's a reward pathway in the brain. The part of the brain, when you're having sugar, it stimulates and lights up the reward center, and it starts that vicious cycle that you want to have more and more of it. Think of a time when you felt happy. Maybe someone gave you a hug, or maybe you ate a delicious piece of cake. For me, what makes me happy is spending time with my family. That's a picture of my family. That's my son Lorenzo, that's my wife Dana, and yes, we are expecting baby number 2, and it's a boy. Now, when you feel happy, this stimulates and lights up the reward center in our brain. When your brain experiences pleasure, it releases dopamine. Basically, it tells your body, hey, this feels pretty good. Let's do it again, right? Hey guys, I want to invite you to my free 5-day workout challenge. You'll get a meal plan. You get a workout for free with me over the next 5 days. Be coached by me and start to build the right habits towards permanent weight loss. If this sounds interesting to you, then click the link below, fill out your application form, schedule a call, and I'll see you on the other side. And these things, it could be positive, things like exercise, social interactions. But it can also be unhealthy things as well, right? Smoking, drugs, unhealthy levels of sugar and sweetness, and certain stimulus activates these pathways in certain degrees. Hard drugs causes a stronger release of dopamine that temporarily makes you feel happy, and it activates that pathway. You feel happy and you want more of it. And as dopamine goes up, another neurotransmitter, serotonin, goes down, and serotonin is responsible for helping you feel satisfied. So the more dopamine you have, the more serotonin goes down, you feel less and less satisfied, which means your brain will want a bigger hit of dopamine the next time to feel the same degree of satisfaction. It doesn't matter if it's sugar or artificial sweetener, it still lights up this reward center in our brain. And remember, artificial sweeteners can be 1,000 times sweeter than sugar. The more artificial sweeteners you have, the less and less satisfied that you feel, and the more sugar and the more sweets you're gonna crave. So although artificial sweeteners give you 0 calories, it does trigger you to want to have things that are sweeter and sweeter. So sometimes you have some artificial sweeteners and sometimes you'll have real sugar. But because artificial sweeteners are 1,000 times sweeter, remember, it just doesn't satisfy anymore, and you're gonna want things that are more and more sweet. This is where sugar cravings become uncontrollable. Can you see why and how this can cause weight gain? To make things worse, companies spend millions of dollars engineering their food to make you want to eat more and buy more. They engineer their food with the right level of sweetness, the right flavors, the right textures, so that you want to eat more and more of it. They want to get you to buy more. And by the way, they engineer it in a way where it doesn't really make you that much more full, so that you have capacity to eat more of it. For example, if you're having a chocolate bar, maybe like a coffee crisp, after eating it, does it make you more full? Not really. I remember when I was a kid, it was Halloween and I got a whole garbage bag of candy and I just ate everything in one day. And it was because it didn't make me more full. In fact, after eating one candy, it led me to eating the next candy until that whole garbage bag was empty. Now kids, don't try this at home, and parents, don't let your kids do that. Another reason for weight gain from artificial sweeteners is people eat more after they consume artificial sweeteners. I call this the Diet Coke effect. You order a Diet Coke thinking you're getting something healthier, and then you order a large side of fries, right? People compensate for what they think is healthy by ordering something that they know is unhealthy. There's no debate that sugar causes insulin resistance, diabetes, weight gain, and obesity. No debate. However, there's still a huge argument about whether or not artificial sweeteners cause weight gain. Some articles support it, some articles do not. We know that artificial sweeteners, they don't cause insulin spike, they don't cause insulin resistance, diabetes, or obesity directly, but it does stimulate the reward pathway in the brain, causing you to crave more sweet things, and this indirectly gets you to eat more food, have more calories, have more sugar, which can lead to diabetes, weight gain, insulin resistance, and obesity. Now, where there is no debate is the best way to lose weight is by simply cutting out the sugar and slowly reducing things that are sweet. Whether it's artificial sweeteners or whether it's sugar. Now, sugar has different forms, right? It's basically anything that ends with the ose. So this could be glucose, this could be fructose, this could be lactose in milk, this could be maltose, this could be sucrose. All of these things are sugar. And sugar is funny because it can disguise itself as well. For example, like syrup, corn syrup, agave syrup, maple syrup, brown sugar, coconut sugar. These are all just sugar. Honey is a sugar, molasses is a sugar, fruit juices have sugar, corn sweetener, high fructose, corn syrup. These are all sugars. And so I want to give you 5 tips on how you can reduce your sugar and sweetener intake. Tip number 1 is reduce sugary drinks. Things like pop, things like juice, things like sugary beverages, boba, bubble tea, lattes, frappuccinos. Instead, have water with fruit chunks mixed in. Maybe you can have some water, soda water, and throw in some pineapple chunks, watermelon chunks. Maybe you're more sophisticated and you have some cucumber chunks with some mint leaves in there. Tip number 2 is skip the sugar and sweeteners in your tea and in your coffee. If you want a little bit of creaminess and sweetness without the creamy sugar, you can add a teaspoon of vanilla protein powder. Milk is fine, unsweetened almond milk or soy milk is fine as well. Tip number 3, use added fruit. When you have yogurt or when you have oatmeal, have it plain, because when you order it flavored, there's a lot of sugar inside. So get them plain and then add your own fruit to flavor them. Things like mango or blueberries or strawberries, those contain naturally occurring sugar, which is way better than the added sugar. Tip number 4, use spices. When you're cooking and a recipe says to add sugar, you can easily substitute it for a spice instead to give it flavor. Allspice, cinnamon, nutmeg, vanilla bean, those are great options. Tip number 5, for those of you that like pancakes and waffles and you drizzle them with the syrup, try to use unsweetened applesauce. It'll give you that sweetness without all the extra sugar. So I'm curious, what are you guys gonna do to improve your sweet tooth? Comment below, and remember guys, you're just one habit away from permanent weight loss. If you like this video, you definitely want to check out the next one by clicking right here.